Since creating my last design, I've had a little bit of a play and I've created a few new alternatives. I've placed those in my InDesign document and you can see that progression here. I'll just zoom in a little bit. You can see that they've become pixelated again because this is the next day that I'm working and I've reopened that file. So they've kind of defaulted back to that little pixelated version. I can just right click somewhere on my page and press display performance and go to high quality display, and it cleans them all up again and just shows me what those images really actually look like. As you can see, I've now placed a version of my original drawing that I had live traced, and I had changed that into a laser cut version. And you can tell because it's got that red circle in the middle where I'm going to thread my keyring through. Then I've shown my next idea for a monster, and I've continued with an orange version. If I scroll down, you can see how I've used those designs to create some unique logos. So I have an option 1 for a logo, option 2, and option 3 for a logo. My page is starting to get quite full, and I'm really happy with how it's looking because it's showing a variety of alternatives. I could always select those and just double check that I've hit the auto fit there. I'm going to tick that. Now, if I wanted to make them all a bit smaller, I could just hold Shift, click and drag, and it will resize those images down. I've done that because I've just created a new alternative that I want to add to my page. So if I go back into Illustrator, you'll see that alternative here. File, export, export as. I'm going to make sure that we select a PNG option. We'll call this one color version. I think I'm up to number 6 now. So color version 6, export. Checking that it's on 300, high resolution and a transparent background. And we're going to press OK. That should have now created my new file. So we'll go back into my folders and have a look where they are. And here it is. If I open up my InDesign file, I should be able to press File, Place. I'll select that new version, color version 6, press Open, and I'm going to click and drag that one down. For me, I'm thinking at the moment that that might actually be my final logo because I'm really happy with how that one's turned out. So I'd like to show you now how we can apply this final logo to some Photoshop mock-ups. These mock-ups will be placed on the next page. So this current page that I'm working on has all of the development of my ideas, and I can always go over to the type tool, click and drag a box, and just write about some of the things that I've learned in doing this exercise. Okay, so we'll scroll down and get ready to add some mock-ups on this page. To create a mock-up, we need to work in Photoshop. I've given you a range of mock-ups already on your USBs, so we want to open up one of them. If I go to my files, I have a folder ready called Photoshop Mockups. We might start by creating one of the artisan beer bottle mock-ups. So let's double click on that file to open it. And as you can see, we've got some designs ready to go. You can see that I've actually added a design already, and that was from the last demonstration that I've done. Open up your layers, and inside of your layers, you're going to see a whole heap of options. I want to work on the front label. So I'm going to double click on this white box here. That's going to open up a whole new menu or a whole new page. You can see my original is still back here on the left. There's a new tab here now that has the option for me to add in my logo. I'm going to delete this one because I don't think it's as strong a quality as what we've now made. All of my layers are here. Sometimes it will have this up at first. We can hide any layer if we don't want to see it by clicking the eye on the left of that layer. I could also click this so it's completely gone, and now I can add in my logo. So I'm going to go File and Place Embedded. I now need to find where I've saved my logo, and for me it's in a folder here, Year 9 Art. I've got my Amoy's Monster Color version 6 that I'll select, and hit place. It's quite small because we'd originally sized up our document to be 70 by 70 millimeters, which as you can imagine is 7 by 7 centimeters. So holding Shift, oh, what's happened here? Here we go. Holding Shift, I'm going to click and drag out my logo to make it bigger and really fill that area. I'm going to hit Enter. So the benefit of working with PNGs is that anywhere that on that original Illustrator file that was white, it's now changed it to be transparent. And this checkered background here is actually transparent. So it means that there's nothing there. To be able to see this design on my beer bottle, I now need to press Save. The shortcut for that is Control S, but I can also go to File and then Save. Because I've saved it, I can close this tab now, and it automatically adds the image to the bottle and it wraps it around so it looks as though it's actually sitting on a curve. If we want to see it without all of these little boxes showing up, we just come up to the top here and click this button. And now you can see what it actually looks like wrapped on the bottle. If I wanted to resize this logo, I just come back up to Show Transform Controls. I click on it, and now I could maybe make that label a little bit smaller if I wanted to, and resize it on there. Hit Enter to place your image. And now I've got a really groovy little logo that's been applied to a mock-up. So I would save that. If we go File, Save As, and let's save that inside of our folder that has everything else so it keeps it consistent. And I'm going to call that Amoy's Artisan Bottle Mock-up. And instead of saving it as a Photoshop file, which I could do if I wanted to edit it again, so maybe we will just to be safe, we'll hit Save, press OK. It's just saving. And then we'll do that again. We'll go File, Save As, and this time we'll save it as a JPEG. And press OK, or Save, sorry. I might make my file maybe quality at 10, and then press OK. So if we open up InDesign now, I can go File, Place. It's the same steps we've been doing all along. And I can click Amoy's Artisan Beer Bottle, press Open. Oh, what's going on? We'll try that again. File, Place, click on this option, press Open, and where is it? Ah, it's put it on the page before. I'm going to delete that, and I'm just going to try again here. File, Place, click on this JPEG, press Open, and there we go. So now it has got a little shadow image that I can click and drag so that I have my first mock-up on the page. If I click on that image and zoom in, I've got all this extra white space around the edges. So before I press Auto Fit at the top, I can actually crop in my image a little bit, so I'm just seeing what I want to see. Now I can hit Auto Fit. I'll zoom out a little bit, and I can just make that image a bit bigger by holding Shift and clicking and dragging it out. My first mock-up is now complete.